Our region's business is sponsored by PNC for the achiever in you. Our region's business, improving our economy, creating jobs, and strengthening communities. Innovation, collaboration, transformation, and the people making it happen. Join us as we take a closer look at our region's business. Now, here's your host, Bill Flanagan.
Today on Our Region's Business, the unlikely entrepreneur who's built one of our region's fastest growing companies, plus getting a workforce ready to build and operate Shell's ethane cracker in Beaver County. But first, what's ahead for our region's shale gas industry with a new president in the White House and some signs of renewed drilling activity here at home? David Spigelmyer is back with us. He's president of the Marcellus Shale Coalition. And welcome. Good to see you again.
Good to be with you, Bill.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
You're the same, sir.
Yeah, how's it looking so far?
Well, cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
We've seen some recovery. We were down as low as 13 active drilling rigs last year in Pennsylvania.
Just 13 in the state?
In the state.
Wow.
We're up over 33 in the last 4 months.
So 13 compares to what? If you went back 5 years or so?
If I go back to early 2012, we were at 111 active drilling rigs in Pennsylvania. Now, that said, I don't think that's just the measure. We've been far more efficient on drilling wells. Early in this development, 08, 09, it would have taken us 60 days to drill a natural gas well with a 2,000 or 3,000 foot horizontal lateral. Today, we're able to drill those wells in 17 to 22 days. And the efficiencies in drilling from a financial standpoint, it's become more cost effective to drill longer laterals and do them in a much more compressed period of time. So, that 111 rigs isn't the test of profitability or success.
You would not be expecting to see that many rigs, even if it was a full-blown.
That's correct. I think that's fair. Yeah, what's a measure, I think, is the activity in getting infrastructure built, getting facilities up and operational, and frankly, what we're starting to see now, and the real benefit to consumers, is what's yielded back to the burner tip. Consumers across Pennsylvania, 53 to 74% less for their purchased natural gas costs than what it was in 2008. Real benefit. Now new downstream industries taking hold as a result. Dorbon taking over a steel facility in McKeesport to build pipe for Dominion's major pipeline project in the Atlantic Coast area. I just read today where Domtar, a major pulp mill facility up in central Pennsylvania, Elk in Clearfield counties, has saved 438 jobs because they're able to renew their facilities with the use of natural gas and save a lot in terms of their use in that plant. So it's been a big benefit from that standpoint, and you talked a little bit about it already, is the opportunities at the Shale petrochemical facility aren't just the jobs for building that facility. It's the downstream opportunities come from, basically taking ethane that's produced in western Pennsylvania, producing a plastic pellet through the cracking process, and then you have the downstream opportunities for paints and coatings and sealants and plastics and adhesives that I think follow that development in the early 2020s that I think will be enormous for our region.
Well, we land a cracker like that too. We have that manufacturing operation here. We keep more of this resource here for the value-added manufacturing downstream.
And that's absolutely
good
critical
for the regional economy, right?
That is absolutely critical. And we're probably in a 5 to 7 year window right now to be able to get the end use. When people think of natural gas, they think, I heat my home, cook my food, dry my clothes, heat my hot water. But it's nearly every single consumer product that you touch today. Steel, glass, plastics, chemicals, fertilizers, powdered metals, pharmaceutical medications, our food supply, all manufactured through the use of natural gas. When I say our food supply, when you think about fertilizers are manufactured with natural gas. So it touches our lives in so many ways and provides quality of life. And we rely on power 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. I don't want to sound trite, but without available and affordable energy supplies uninterrupted, it disrupts our whole economy.
Well, I saw a statistic, a report just in the last week or so, that the price of electricity really across the United States is down significantly, and a lot of that has to do with increasing use of natural gas for power generation as well, displacing coal, I would assume.
That's absolutely correct. I think back to 2008 and 2009, our Public Utility Commission was telling consumers in Pennsylvania that rate caps were coming off. your power rates were going to raise anywhere from 30% to 100%, depending on which utility.
I remember that.
Yeah. At the same period of time, natural gas was coming online. That's coming from shale development. And natural gas historically set the price for power because it was the last dispatch fuel. Today, in many cases, it's the first dispatch fuel, and it saves consumers billions of dollars in Pennsylvania in avoided cost and in use costs that you have natural gas that you're burning. And on top of that, it's delivered huge reduction in carbon dioxide emissions. We're at a 23-year low in the U.S. in carbon dioxide emissions. Why? Because we're burning natural gas in power generation. A huge benefit from a climate perspective.
When you look ahead, what's changed? You mentioned you expect more drilling activity going into this year, certainly than we saw last year when it was kind of bottoming out. What's changed right now that's leading the industry to start to get back in the ground?
Yeah, it's some of the infrastructure's come online. I think you probably are aware of this, Bill, but over the last few years, we've been a bit of a victim of our own success. We produced a quarter of Pennsylvania's natural gas in 2008. Today, here in Pennsylvania, we produce a quarter of America's natural gas. We've gone from 180 billion cubic feet of production in 2008 to today over 5 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. So it's an incredible journey in a short period of time, but the reality is we got to get the infrastructure in place to get that gas out of here. When all that gas comes into a central location, a hub location, it backs up. It has to be stored, parked, loaned, a lot of different things that have to happen, and that basis reduction or the haircut operators have taken have lessened that commodity price from the NYMEX price by as much as 60% in Pennsylvania. That's a huge haircut operators take and our royalty owners take, and it's impacted drilling capital being spent in Pennsylvania as a result. The other piece of that is, Pennsylvania's made it difficult. We worked hard to modernize the regulatory framework for development, yet we continue to regulate and over-regulate an industry that needs to have some certainty and predictability. Long-time policies matter, and we're working hard to make sure that Pennsylvania can compete with our neighbors. Many of them, they're in the top 10 across the country from Site Selection magazine of places to invest capital. We're not there right now, and we need to make sure we have the policies that will attract capital, keep capital here to grow jobs and investment in our industry.
You still hear grumblings down and whispers down in Harrisburg about the possibility of a severance tax or some additional. So how's that conversation going?
Sure, I just share with you, we already pay a tax, and the tax rates that we've got in an impact tax that passed in 2012, based upon where commodity prices have been, we've gotten double what we would have got under a severance tax model like West Virginia. I know West Virginia was used early as the model. If we would have been paying a West Virginia model, we'd have paid less than half of what we paid in an impact fee. The benefits, though, have been extraordinary. I was in Washington County just the other day and did an editorial board visit, and I looked at some of the benefits in Washington County alone. They've been able to avoid increase in property tax as a result of the impact investments that have been made in those counties. And it's not just there, it's here and in other counties all over our region. It's been a huge winner for our region to keep that money locally instead of going to the general fund and then fighting for that money to be doled back out to Western Pennsylvania.
A little less than a minute left, but I got to ask you, what do you make of the Trump administration and national energy policy as it affects us here?
I would tell you it's been refreshing to see the politics taken out of the things that are necessary for the build out of infrastructure. It's absolutely critical for our country that we get infrastructure built. I think it's fair to say that we have no preferential treatment there, but I think all options will be on the table and not taken off the table. We're refreshed by that. I think there's been investment in our industry because of the fact that people realize that that we're going to get a fair shake, and natural gas plays such a huge part in our economy. We think that the Trump administration recognizes that.
All right, David Spigelmyer from the Marcellus Shale Coalition. Thank you much.
Been good to be with you, sir.
New year. Yeah,
thanks, Bill.
Next up, building the workforce to build and operate the Shale plant. Stay with us.